Yes, we are going by the truth for now. We can tell him that we came out of the machines in the Trahments mansion and then we found him in one of Mr. Trahments' tablets. But I guess this is going to make him flip his shit.
We found you in the main computer.
Yeah, we can say that.
He's thinking things through in a lot of detail. He's being very conservative with what he says.
Can I also check on his confidence?
He seems very terrified, but that's not affecting his confidence. He does think he can hold himself, but is afraid of even needing to. And do you resume?
Artemis, do you resume?
Aye.
Oh no, another RT came out. The Moe RT.
just a little baby suddenly squishing the tablet.
Please tell us.
Is there any way you could prove this to me? I'm open to helping within reason, and within the bounds of my professional duties. I'm no stranger to extortion or deception, so ask me only what is absolutely necessary, and give me some assurance that my rights won't be further violated. I want to be deleted.
How do you want us to prove it to you? I guess that'd be a good start.
We can say that in your room, we found this message that you had left for yourself, and then we can copy the exact message that he had left for himself.
You are not real. Norman copied you. Find the main computer to delete. David's death. Amelia listens to the wall scan, so distract and hide. And then also, Mr. Lawman stopped looking at things today and instead began a life of looking into them. I had foreseen this. Where was that part?
That was one of Amelia's.
What is the current date? What time is it? What are the effects of being in this machine? I saw how you changed the walls. I don't want to be this.
We won't delete you until you give us information, perhaps.
So did we tell him the previous part, or was he just rambling on because he wasn't paused?
He's rambling on because he isn't paused.
Alright, tell that to him again then.
Yeah, we say we found this exact message in the butler's room in the entertainment station.
I guess they must have been right. We underestimated the situation. But what exactly is it that you want from me, Mr. Whittaker?
Firstly, information about Dr. Slav, perhaps?
Sachiko agrees, and she's also grateful.
Is it Slav?
Lab.
Misspells and mistypes happen. He goes,
I don't think I know the person you're referring to. How are they relevant to your current situation?
Sachiko, with your insight, you do know there is a moment of double-taking that does suggest, because of the misspell, he does connect it to the right name.
I guess I want to use forensic psychology at this moment, if Artemis agrees with this. So Sachiko says, we found a photo of him among the photos of people you had secretly photographed. If you are going to lie to us, why do you think we would give you anything? This is Sachiko's suggestion.
So, we found photos of him among the photos of people you secretly photographed. If you're going to lie to us, why do you think we'd give you anything? I think that sounds rather threatening in a assertive way.
So do you disagree with?
No, sounds appropriate. Let's go.
When he answers, I want to use forensic psychology to see if I learn anything about why he wants to hide his information.
You send that in, and first of all, you guys notice that now he is opening up to the possibility of actually staying quiet, as if he expects some time to be taken because of all the delayed pauses. So he's staying quiet till this message is sent. He then says,
I'm sure you're familiar with the professional's code. Whatever career you may be pursuing, Ms. Tanizaki, there are all manner of bad actors using what they know to learn what they don't. I want to help you, and I know that I am at your mercy. But I need to know why this is necessary if it is. Why do I need to sacrifice such important boundaries?
You can tell him that I was Slab's prisoner for a long while, and this is personal.
With a B for Bravo, correct?
That would be a very bad villain name, like just Dr. Slav. He's Slavic.
So I was Slab's prisoner for a long while, correct?
Yeah.
I had a complete brain fart because I didn't know how to spell his name.
Ms. Tanizaki, how does this information help you with what I'm assuming is an escape from where you allegedly found yourself?
Honestly, I'd make him aware that things like that in this present time aren't quite as important as the closure that it would bring.
It wouldn't help me escape, but it would help me have a grasp on my identity again.
And we go back up to Cinder, first floor.
By the way, does Noel go to work on the weapon more?
Yeah.
Only one Cinder is there working on it. The one with the animals.
If I'm not useful for making the gun and just the one Cinder can do it, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make us, in the pool room, like a small shooting gallery. Like, I just want to put down tables and stuff to...
Now, you are very useful for what's happening here as well, and keep in mind it does hone your skills for weapon stuff.
That, and with one Cinder, it's going to take a lot longer than it would with two people.
Yeah, okay, then I'll stay.
All right. You're by the playroom door.
Just to get a better look. So she's going into the playroom close to where it would cut off to get a better look towards the kitchen.
You see more and more toy aisles, and that's till the end of the room, but the room feels very warm. Do you want an overview of the room?
Please, yes.
Up, there's the electronic station, missing a device. There's the TV with parental control. Down, there are the toy aisles from up to down, just all the way in the middle of the room. Towards the left are, again, shelves built into the wall itself with lots of different types of toys. To the right, at the end of all these aisles, there's the trampoline place. That does seem to have some growth against the corners as well, and it goes from the ground all the way to the top, as if it has safety bits even on the ceiling.
Any bodies in here?
You definitely do smell a more fresh source of the same pungent smell of blood and infection that you had smelled previously, but you're not sure whether it's a corpse or growth.
Right. I'm gonna go ahead and shut that door and go to my next watch point, which is the tea room. Just opening the door, if I can, just to see what I see.
You can see that the edge of the door hits a chair, and if you were to push it further, it would hit almost hair-thin, tentacle-like growths from up on the ceiling that extend all the way down to, let's say, table height.
Reckless will sign as to not speak to Center and say, I'm going to go in on my stomach. Be ready in case I trip something to pull me out. Center will have gone down towards the floor to pull her out should something be touched. Center will be very focused to see if Reckless moves anything.
All the area within the blue dots seems to have these same blue threads just hanging down from the ceiling all over the place, down to near what looks like a conference table. Up, window very clearly on lockdown, but having this extra manual bit that can be used to peek through. Down, what you guess would be where butlers or guards would stand when perhaps important meetings would take place. To the left, there is this very big, drawer with slider doors on it. And there are traces of this same poop oil leaking out of it. And to the right is a door that goes into another place.
To be quite honest, Cinder is just checking if there are bodies. I don't have the manpower to explore right now. I'm just trying to clear some of the area. So if I do go into the tea room, into the center, I'm not going to touch any tentacle skin.
You're just crawling on the ground.
I shall do that and go up.
You go up towards the window. It's definitely constructed to be a shelter with multiple layers of not only glass, but mechanisms and gates that have closed off access. And you also see the manual lever that would allow you to push aside just a small square to peek through the window. And you do think this house has an integumentary system to regulate heat within and perhaps even protect itself from harm. There do seem to be traces of a whole timeline of different types of bullets and different types of conflict having taken place and harm having been done to the window, but it's held up pretty well, at least on this side.
Alright, we'll go towards the guard stand.
It seems like there's a whole station that would be serving the people standing there, stands on either side that would allow the lawyers to go through documents presented to them while the important people continued their meetings. And there's even a sort of an elevator that leads up. This one is way too small for any of you to access, but you think this would be used to automatically rail towards this room the documents necessary. And on the ceiling, there are eyes, very similar to the one you saw in the living room. And they're dry and dead already, as if they haven't been used for quite a while. This is part of the growth of the house. All of them would be looking down on the tables where the documents would be.
Do the drawers have any feely skin on them or anything?
None that appear to be there from the outside.
I'll move it out a slight, tiny bit.
You do so. It seems like there's nothing inside currently, but it does have rooms for either documents and then another separate part for drinks and food and snacks. What's next?
Right. Towards the kettle.
You begin to crawl to the right, finding this door to not have any growth on it. It seems to have a setting for it to even turn into sort of a kitchen counter and reveal the contents inside, but you think that's more digital and you need to access it through some interface. But the door can be very easily opened as well.
So I could open it and go under.
You could open it and then squeeze through from the side, or you could just open it to the other way. You could even test whether the door would allow that or not.
Let's try to open it the other way first.
You do so, and you learn that the door can even be slid to the side as well. The very first part that's revealed from the room is the very end, the right part. 2 enlarged glands. They look like oversized areolas and nipples oozing something slightly pink, but more so having clumps of red in it that has a smell that can already be smelled from here, and it smells very disgusting. Pretty much what's on the right side and also the pantry.
Any feely skin in here?
None that you can see.
I'll crawl a little bit into the room.
Crawling a little bit into the room would allow you to see towards the upside. Basically, it's just a small, compact kitchen sort of thing where you could prepare lots of different little desserts, snacks, tea, most importantly. There are even simple robots that would work on rails that could deliver already made items. And there is also a cupboard. Down, you see an herbal station, perhaps used to grow plants and the like indoors.
There's a light to it, though?
Yeah, actually has like built-in lights.
I know how to feed Plant Puppy now.
And there is a seed pod next to it. To the left, which would be the door you came in from, the cleaning bot pod, and another one, which you think is just a very simple bot for delivery. That one's taller and almost human-sized. That one's on the other side of the door.
Sneakily go over to the pantry.
Unlike the rest of the house, there's just this dry feel to it and the smell of some old spices, only at times that it's not masked by the disgusting smell of the glands. And underneath, you see this automated system that would deliver things from here to the staff room. And there are 2 corpses lodged in the elevator there. You found the other shortcut to go up and down through.
So kettle goes down to staff. Got it. Nice. And they're dead, right?
They don't seem to be moving, covered in poop oil, some scars and half-eaten notes and Logan bites and scratches.
Then I'll just grab the Roomba and head back out.
By the way, Noel and other Cinder, now with the storm timer, we go to 10 hours of this day and the weapon is done.
Cinder just looks happily at Noel and says, "You gonna shoot it?"
What room are we in right now? I don't want to just shoot it at a wall and have it reflect and kill someone.
Why don't we go to the storage and see if there's something wooden in there to shoot it at?
Just shoot it at the fucking winch, and Jesus Christ, just...
It goes through the wood, through the center, out the other side, and grazes the dining table.
I'm gonna ask for the weapon for a moment.
Go ahead.
Alright, I'm going to shoot it close to the same place that Noel did. When it shoots, I'm going to use Palm Catalog, and then I'm going to use action clicks. And I'm sure it's in good condition, but how does it sound?
There are not much specifications that could be understood about the weapon through its sound, but that could be a good thing.
Yeah.
You don't think it would do much damage, especially to armor, but against flesh, it should be good. And
It's a big deterrent, essentially.
yeah, it does good pain damage. There is a possibility until you get more materials that the bolts themselves and the fact that they're not a perfect fit for both of the sections of the barrel, that could cause it more condition loss throughout use.
So, like, it's better I start producing my own ammunition for it instead of using just nails.
Right? That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Currently, you think that because of how it works, the person who would be listening to the sound would sometimes misunderstand whether it's, first of all, a power weapon or a projectile weapon. But if they're quite the expert, they would know that it's magnetic, and it might lead them to think it's something much more high-tech than it is, meaning that the sound itself could be used for intimidation.
So it's scarier the smarter you are, which is why I'm not scared at all.
Artemis and Sachiko?
We sent the message saying it wouldn't help me escape, but it would help me to have a grasp on my identity again.
And you do write that Tanizaki is saying this, right?
Yes, Tanizaki.
People associated with those syndicates are rarely healthy people, Ms. Tanizaki. I understand that you may have been hurt by their associates, Dr. Slap being one of them. I want you to know that you're not alone in having had to encounter them.
Yes, so just a question. Last time I said I used forensic psychology to guess if he's being honest about this professionalism of his.
You don't know if professionalism necessarily is the reason with the dices you've gotten, but you do know he has so many secrets that he himself is just used to being conservative. That's his default unless convinced otherwise.
Are you content with that then?
You know, not really. I really wanted to know what was Slab up to when he was spying on him, but to be honest, I'm a bit impatient to get back to the Kevin Logan. I guess so. Yeah, okay. I'm content. It seems also there's no use about asking him about what happened to the apocalypse. He doesn't even know when the apocalypse happened. And he wouldn't have any idea about Laura.
He might be able to tell us more about her personality, though.
I guess we can tell him that the original family members have all turned to monsters and we don't know how to find or defeat Lara, and if we don't do that, and don't say defeat only, say defeat / negotiate with Lara. If we don't do that, we have no way to survive.
Alright, Artemis will be typing. Thank you. To further assist us with our current struggles, we would like some further information regarding the family, in particular Laura and her son. This is because the whole family have mutated into monsters, need to figure out how to defeat / negotiate with them, and believe that knowing more about them and their personal habits could assist us.
If things are as dire as you claim, I'd be more than happy to help you. Is there perchance a way I could see what you were describing myself? I'm sure I'd have an easier time getting through to them if you just let me talk to them.
Pause.
The Chico says, I recommend we tell him they are too monstrous to be able to interact with anyone. And no, you can't observe them because if we approach them, they will attack us and try to kill us. While you are typing this, the Chico says, you know, I really wish I could just tell him we can program this simulation in a way that 1 second for us in real time and 1,000,000 years for you in the vaults. So why don't you stop acting like you have any choice other than to tell us whatever we want to hear? But alright, try to be less crazy.
Artemis is just slowly nodding, sort of like awkwardly, like looking around.
What are your questions then? How are you planning to negotiate with people who you say are past the point of negotiation?
We hope that there is some humanity left in at least some of them. but we
Especially
are not sure.
Laura, since we haven't found her yet.
We are particularly concerned about Laura. How can I say this in a way which doesn't sound crazy? Her presence is always around, but
We can say that we have seen evidence of her presence.
very nice wording. And post.
Unfortunately, we do not currently know. We hope that there is some humanity left, at least some of them, but we are not sure. We are particularly concerned about Laura, as we have not seen her yet, but we have seen evidence of her presence.
You really haven't given me much to work with. But has Miss Trahments been taking her medication?
No, she has not. What were the effects?
Also tell him Miss Trahments has killed one of us, and she's basically a huge mutant monster that can tear through people like toilet paper.
I think it would be best to be somewhat honest with, unless you're talking about the daughter.
We're not talking about the daughter.
No, we're talking about Laura.
Well, in that case, we really don't know. How can we? If we haven't seen her, how can we know her medical history?
Well, we can ascertain that she hasn't been taking a medication, especially considering that Amelia was leaving it for her. And, I mean...
So I guess this is how we can answer. We can say we of course can know for sure, but we have found a great amount of medication, so...
I've already sent a message just saying no, she's not. What were the effects when she did not take medication? I'm assuming it's...
Yeah, but I guess now he's going to tell us how do you know. He's trying to catch us in a lie.
I can assure you, Mr. Whittaker, that Miss Trahments wouldn't have any interest in interacting with you, especially if she doesn't have access to her medication. I would hardly be surprised if she's choosing to avoid you. I have to ask yet again, why does this matter to you?
Can I ask if she displayed extreme symptoms of OCD, as we have been experiencing strange occurrences of this sort?
She was quite strict about her high standards for cleanliness, if that's what you're crudely referring to.
Thank you. When she did not want to be seen, what were her behaviours? I really want to add on don't be a snarky piece of shit, but I'll wait to see his response.
What any person's would be, she'd exercise her right to privacy. She has never been any harm to anyone.
That is definitely some reassurance that she will not be of harm to us. However, where did she go? What were her habits?
Mr. Whittaker, you must have some awareness of how all of this sounds. Put yourself in my position. You've just put me in a box, somehow pushing questions into my head that I cannot hear, and asking me not to just think you're a thief looking for more information to abuse?
Sachiko says, Artemis, can I ask you to give the tablet to me to try it my way?
Let me just send one more message.
Now you say, in this simulation, we can make 1 million years for you last 1 mere second for us. You are at our mercy.
Mr. Whittaker, even without threats, you've made it very difficult for me to keep my composure. What am I to tell you? You're talking of people turning into monsters that you want to negotiate with. You're not giving me any reassurance, and I already told you what I can about Miss Trahments.
And then he will pass it to...
He's continuing to speak unless he has paused.
What else can I do? Everyone knows she's a renowned painter. If you're looking for her medication for her, let's say, maybe look in the gallery or painting room. What more do you want from me?
That's some very useful information right there.
Sachiko looks at you and says, are you fine with me going rough on him?
Yes, absolutely. Just ask him on what floor the gallery is located if it's in the mansion.
Sachiko types in what floor the gallery is in.
Second floor of the mansion you claim to be in.
So Sachiko starts typing and says, alright, let's get back to the topic of Dr. Slap. And then she waits for him to react.
He says nothing, but he's looking up around the corners of this cube that he's in, as if to look up.
Sachiko writes, first off, I wasn't a victim of Slab, even though I was his prisoner. I was his disciple. He taught me how to get rid of evidence, and he taught me how to torture people. I just want to know why you were following him, what he was up to, because there's a possibility that this might be related to me. Now, I really want you to stop playing games with me and realize that I can be really nasty to you.
He taught me the same things as you, Miss Tanizaki. All of this dates very far back, and surely won't be relevant anymore.
Why don't you let me decide what is relevant?
I try to keep my boundaries. You've given me no sense of what reality could be, or who this information is going to. You have to understand, no matter how much I am at your mercy, I have no choice but to just endure the torture, Ms. Tanizaki. I just ask that you work with me. I'm really stretching out of my comfort zone for you. So please, let's try to keep this civil and trade what we can.
Yes, Sachiko writes you're giving me nothing.
I may have been trained in some of the same arts and sciences as you, Ms. Tanizaki. I don't know what else you're asking here.
A while back, you didn't know that the apocalypse had started, but now you're telling me that it was a long time ago. How do you know it was a long, long time ago?
What does this even have to do with the apocalypse? I was trained as a child, Ms. Tanizaki, and the child is something I have not been for a very long time now.
The pictures now make sense with the height differences. It could have been that it's not sneaking, even though they were hidden pictures, but it could have been that a child was taking them.
Sachiko says, I'm fine with keeping you in this simulation for all eternity. Keep this piece of civility and shove it up your ass.
I can only hope that we can discuss things further and be more help to one another. Please, come back to me when you're ready.
Artemis puts his hand out to ask for the tablet again.